Hello. Hello. Check. Yo, mic check. How does this sound? Hopefully it sounds good. Hopefully I'm not peaking. But if it needs to go up, let me know. Welcome, everybody, to the first live discussion hangout of 2025. It's February 3rd. And we're here today to talk about a few different things, just kind of hang out for, a couple hours like we normally do. A lot of people like this format where I just answer questions and, Resident Evil, survival horror stuff that's going on with the channel, whatever the case may be. So, let's see if I can catch up with the chat here. King Shadow, what's going on? Wesson, talking about the PC port of Dino Crisis. Well, yeah, we'll talk about that. I haven't had a chance to play it, but I probably will this week. We got Cougar Man in here. Back from the dead, what's up? Cody, what's up? All our members, appreciate that. JD, I did not go to Wendy's. What's up, Ant and LTRE? What's up, Gangs Talking? Milfman misses the old music that used to play at the start. Well, the old music is essentially copyrighted. So I used to use like a synthwave kind of beat that wasn't this one that I have here by Azure, who was very helpful and did that original intro for me. And essentially what happened was the intro that I was using for a couple years was originally royalty-free music, which means that you can use it in your videos and you won't get a claim on it and stuff like that. So you could still monetize said streams. Long story short, this past year, probably like it was in the middle of last year, I got claims for every single stream that I did in the last 2.5 years, 3 years that I used that track. So I basically had to go in and manually remove, or it would automatically cut out that little waiting screen of each of my streams, which was annoying, but I had to do it. So long story short, never use royalty-free music that says it's royalty-free, because one day it might get bought by somebody and you cannot make money off anything in your video because you have it in your intro or outro. So I have original music by Azure. Dustin did the original LTRE intro chime that we still use too from time to time. So, I got good people around me that help me out, and I really appreciate them. And, good composers all around. So, that's why the music changed. So if you miss it, sorry, but there's a reason why it changed. Also, I think this theme just works better. So, audio's fine. That's good. Ready for the state of play next week. Yeah, there apparently is a couple of things happening that we're going to talk about as well. And the state of play could potentially show something Resident Evil. I don't know. I hope so. And that's going to be going down next week, Valentine's Day week. Eli, what's going on, man? Kular's in here. Axel. So they haven't announced a new Dino Crisis. They announced it for PC, or they released it for PC, the first 2 games. So what's up, Giotto Rose? Capcom will delay RE to avoid the GTA 6 hurricane. No, they won't. Because there's nothing coming out this year for Resident Evil. So GTA 6 will just, come out and that's it. So we are getting Turok. Yeah. Which looked good. I mean, I'm excited. I liked Turok back in the day. I was a little late to the party with like the older ones. But I, in like the mid 2000s is when I finally bought my own N64. where I played N64 up until that point, but it was on my cousin's N64. You know what I mean? Like I was always a PlayStation guy, Xbox, GameCube, Dreamcast, stuff like that. Um, and so when I got N64, that was fun to like kind of go back and get a bunch of games. And back then, GameStop was selling it for like $20. You know what I mean? So, um, yeah, Turok 2009. I do remember that game. I do. Tyrell, what's going on? Um, so let's get into. I guess one of the first things we'll talk about is uh, the Capcom Spotlight. So as you guys know, tomorrow, or if you don't know, this is also to raise awareness of it. Me and Perry will be live tomorrow at 5 or just before 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a Capcom Spotlight event. There isn't going to be Resident Evil there. It's confirmed that Capcom is going to talk about certain things that aren't Resident Evil. It's already confirmed everything they're talking about, but I'm excited and I'm still going to stream it. I'm not going to be one of these people like, is Resident Evil going to be there? It's not. It's more likely going to be at that Sony event next week, other than, an event that Capcom literally has spelled out for us of what's going to be there. Now, could they always show surprises? Sure, but it's 40 minutes, and the last 20 minutes is just Monster Hunter stuff, because Monster Hunter is about to come out, which I know some people are like, Monster Hunter, whatever. No, I actually really got into the last one. I did enjoy playing it. I didn't play it for a super long time, but I actually enjoyed it and I got into it. So I will be trying to play it and, checking it out and having a good time. But yeah, so tomorrow it's 2 p.m. Pacific time, but we're going to be going live around like 4:30, 4:45 Eastern Standard Time. So you have Onimusha, which I can't wait to see more of Onimusha, Street Fighter 6, which is probably going over the DLC, the Capcom Fighting Collection 2, and the Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics. So they're going to be going through some of that. Hopefully one of the fighting stuff gets an Xbox release because it needs one. And that's what I've heard. So I don't get a lot of exclusive information, but I've just heard some rumblings via the Discord, but we'll see. Let's see here. Rapid Crafter, what's going on, man? Good to see you in here. Catbus says, hello, Anthony. Have you heard the latest rumors of Leon being 100% the main pro tag? I've heard of them. It's I've heard of some of that stuff, and again, we won't know until we see it, really. I just don't give any credit to people online that like to, again, kind of act like their shit don't stink because they are wrong about, 90% of things, and then they get one thing right, and they say, see, I told you. Like, I'm just not really into that. I'm just kind of not, So if people want to, have a sliver of hope that there'll be something of truth to some of that stuff, awesome. But, do your own thing, I guess. But just don't get so... This is why you never take leaks and you get, so excited with them and run with them, because you'll end up disappointed and then you'll take it out on the actual product at the end of the day. So you got to be careful with like giving hope to leaks and rumors. It's fun to sit here and speculate. Like, we're Resident Evil channels. That's something we do. That's cool. But like, you can't take everything as like, this is the truth. This is the answer. By some sweaty guy in a basement, tweeting, that's fine. It's cool. But I don't, you know what I mean? It's just not it's not my thing to like always believe everything. Having a discussion, breaking it down, saying what I would like to do with RE9 or how I would go about it, that's a different story. But I digress. Yeah, Rabbit Crafter, I agree. If anything, the PlayStation Showcase will be where it's at. I'm only looking for RE content. Well, it ain't going to be at the show tomorrow. Best way to state of play. Exactly. State of play. Monster Hunter Wilds is already day one buy for me. Yeah, back. I'm definitely going to be playing that. Matt Clyburn, what's up, man? Another member in the house. Appreciate that. Looking forward to the new info on Onimusha and Jurassic World trailer on Wednesday. Yeah, I mean, the Jurassic Park trailer, we haven't seen anything after that last trailer, and it just looked okay. But, like the cinematics looked better than the gameplay. And I don't know if that was the in-game graphics or whatever, but we definitely need to see more on it. Uh, yes, Gang's talking. I don't doubt that they'll have some kind of Resident Evil Switch 2 announcement at some point as far as putting the other games natively on there. I think that's going to happen eventually. I don't see it not happening because why not? Kurt Stallone is going to be the main protagonist of RE9, and he's going to be playing Special Force guy John Spartan. Yeah, exactly. It's like they could say anything, and people would be like, "Oh my God, Master Chief's in RE9." So tomorrow for the show, looking forward to Onimusha. Yeah, so like I said, me and Perry will be live, and Onimusha has Onimusha. Some of the Marvel vs. Capcom stuff. I definitely want to see that on. I want to see some of that stuff on, Xbox, or the Fighting Collection rather be on Xbox. But we'll see what happens with that. RE9 came out already. No one realized it yet, says Stephen Mack. Yeah, exactly, right? I heard it on the internet, so it must be true. Am I getting the RE3 remake Nemesis bust? No. I think we're going to get something completely different than what's reported. Yeah, it's very much so. Mark says it takes place in space, but dinos, I'm sure Ant would love it. Please no. Please no. I have not seen any Jurassic Park stuff. Matthew Bronx says, I love your podcast, man. Always like hearing you talk Resident Evil and gaming in general. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Matt. I appreciate that. Thanks for being an awesome viewer and listener. What do you think of the teaser of the Final Destination Bloodline? It looks good. I'm looking forward to Final Destination, actually. Some are better than others, and some people might think it's like, oh, it's old news or whatever. Been there, done that kind of thing. But I don't know. I'm excited to see it, to see what's going on. Because that's one of those movies where you can kind of always make them because it's like, it's death, right? So it doesn't have a face. It doesn't have an appearance, really. It's just things happening, and it's following these people. So something like that, it's like Saw. You could do it forever, and you could say these people are still alive, and, here we go. Lucius is asking about a state of play. What's up, Lucius? Another member in the house. So the state of play for Sony, and I know a lot of people are asking about it, and yes, we will be live streaming it. I think it's happening Valentine's week, right? So apparently there's rumors saying it's going to happen on the 10th. There's rumors saying it's going to happen on the 13th. So that week I will be around. I will be ready, to jump on a stream and do what I have to do to cover it. Whether we get a Resident Evil announcement or not, I will be live streaming it. So that's how we do it here, just in hopes of something happening. And if we do, it will give, because Sony, they have to go this year. Xbox went with their developer event. We streamed that last week or 2 weeks ago, whatever that was. I think it was last week already. But yeah, so now it's time for Sony to go. And Capcom does play nice with Sony. So typically they'll reveal, like Resident Evil 4 Remake was shown at that one Sony showcase. So it was around the similar time, of the year. And again, I don't expect to see anything coming out this year for Resident Evil. I just think it will be, mostly announcements and stuff like that. And that's fine. I think there's going to be a nice build up with what they give us. So I'm definitely, grateful that they haven't really run the well dry as far as Capcom content because there's been so much coming out. They've been doing a great job. And Quentin Gilmore with the 20, the other Quentin, that isn't Quentin Bauer, but Quentin with the $20 super chat. Appreciate that, man. That really helps out the channel. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And I just want to move Windows over here. Here we go. Thank you so much. It says, keep up the great work. Thank you, man. Thanks for being a loyal viewer. Let me see here. RE9 coming in 27. RE5 remake coming in 26. If only they could announce like this, I will be excited. This is not confirmation. I'm just geeking out. You know, I don't know. I think RE9 could come out first. RE5 could come first after that, or first, and then it's RE9. I'm not sure. Some people think it's further away. You know what I mean? So I guess we'll see. Let's see. Yeah, Pragmata. I don't know what's going on with that, Quentin. He says we'll get Pragmata before we get RE news. 2028. Yeah, they kind of indefinitely delayed that. So I wonder what that is as far as like it being a new IP. I'll donate to Eye of the Tiger. Thank you, Axel, with the $4.99. Appreciate that, man. Thank you, guys. Appreciate the love on the first live hangout of this year, which, again, these are usually a couple times a month, so I always try to jump on here and do this for you guys. And sorry I couldn't get anything out as far as this type of stream for last month, but we did live stream a bunch last month with RE4 Original on the GameCube. That was very fun. Let's see. Where were we? Gangs Talks is a nice announcement of RE OG Trilogy. Clean up HD project with trophies for next gen would be great. It's always something fans want. Always something that fans want. I don't think I go a week without reading comments on my channel specifically and others of people wanting that so bad. So that is not a far-fetched request. It is not a, it's something that is possible, and I would love to see it. Lucius with the $4.99. Appreciate that. You guys are on fire tonight. I appreciate the love. Really do. I don't have to say this every single time because you guys already know that you're the backbone of everything that I do. So any donation helps, and really appreciated that. Members, same thing. There's going to be a few things I'll go over that's coming up this month that you guys will definitely want to stick around for and find out what is going to happen. Going on 15 years on this channel this week, actually. This Thursday is 15 years. So I'm going to probably do some kind of video, maybe some kind of live stream this week to celebrate. And we're going to do it. So just started playing RE4 remake. This is from Aquarat. I got killed twice there in the first village segment. Any tips? The crowd keeps cornering me, and then the chainsaw guy beheads me. So I would recommend going up on the rooftop. So you know that where you go in and where the shotgun normally is, up the stairs, go into that room and keep jumping in and out of the windows on either side and knock down the ladders and just try to stay far away from the crowd and just kind of pepper the chainsaw guy. I know the chainsaw guy will come up maybe from one of the sides, but try to, spread out a little bit. And when you jump through windows, you gain that little bit of distance. Make sure you have your parries ready for the chainsaw guy. I know it's hard when you're in the beginning and you don't have Leon completely decked out and upgraded, but that would be my advice, is just try to stick to the rooftops. There might have been other strats that have happened up until this point, but that's what I would recommend. Introducing Stallone as a new character. Horror fan, what's going on? Hope we get some RE announcements. Well, it's probably going to be at the State of Play, Horror fan, which is rumored to be next week. So we'll see what happens. Gangs talking. or not Gangs Talking, Cody Gossman with the 1 gifted membership to Mountain Arts Reviews, who is already a member. But guess what? When you gift a member to someone who's already a member, it gives them an extra month for free. So thank you, Cody, because that helps out a lot. Wolf Boy, what's up? Another member coming in saying hello. So I appreciate that. Let's see here. I'm just catching up with the chat. You guys keep the comments coming, because that's basically what these streams are. It's just me reading your comments and talking and shooting the shit. So let's see here. Although looking forward to new info on Onimusha. I've been playing 3 on PS2 a month ago. I'm planning on playing 2 as well. Yeah. I think a lot of people are excited for Onimusha. So I think it's cool that it's coming back. I think it's cool that Capcom is listening to the fans once again, with the feedback in surveys and such. And I think it's a great opportunity for people to jump in to Onimusha for the first time, which is going to be a lot of people. I think that's a huge factor in bringing something back when there's been such a generation gap, right? Because you have the older people like ourselves that are, older, I say, right? Even though I'm younger, but of the crowd. But at the same time, like, we have played a lot of I played Onimusha 1, I never finished it, but I played it, right? I was later to the game with it, but I do like it, right? But I think it has the opportunity to be a lot more present with a lot of people that are currently playing your Monster Hunters or Resident Evils that have no idea what Onimusha is. They might have heard about it in passing, but don't even know, how it plays and everything like that. So Phantom Black Zero release date, I'm sure we'll see in the showcase, potentially. Supposedly PS Showcase is next week, but who knows? Yeah, we'll see. It's rumored. Again, this isn't confirmed, the PlayStation Showcase. It's rumored, but they usually go in either like late January. They've gone in February a bunch of times. Last year they went in February, and they've done March before too. So we got to be ready for that. RE Dino Crisis Evil. Yeah, that's going to be the next remake. Resident Evil Dino Crisis Evil. What's up, Cheese Nips? That's a great name. RE0, RE1 remake announcement for March of 2026 next year. I know that's a big rumor too. Resident Evil 1 and 0 potentially getting remade. Do I think it's going to happen? Yeah, I think at some point. Is it going to be for the 30th anniversary? I don't know, because it doesn't necessarily have to be exactly on the 30-year mark that they'll put it out. It does line up to be, oh, that makes sense, right? But that means whatever they show at the Sony showcase would have to be a remake instead of like a mainline, right? So they could do that too. It's not completely out of left field. I can't wait to play the GOG Dino Crisis. Gonna get it soon. Yeah, I did get them. I just did not stream them, so I'm gonna dedicate a day this week to do a Dino Crisis stream. And should live stream an RE5 mod with Chris as Rocky. I mean, with PC, anything's possible. So never say never. Have I played Ninja Gaiden 2 Black? It's nothing new except looks better. Still fun. Definitely feels like a 2008 game. Feels like one from that era. I have not played it. I played the original 2, and then I played 3. But I heard it was good. I mean, it's on Game Pass, which I don't currently have, but I'm not spending $60 for it, so I'll probably just wait for the new Ninja Gaiden to come out, which does look good. Aaron Hooper, what's up, man? Hoping for some good stuff for both Capcom and the State of Play. Hope you're good. Doing well. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Capcom tomorrow, because we already know what we're getting, so it's not going to be like any big surprise or whatever. But Sony does have to go and show us what they have in the pipeline. I mean, this year it's kind of like a clean slate. There is some stuff slated for this year. You have the new Ghost of Tsushima, right? Whatever it's called now, I forget. Someone in the chat will tell me, but that's coming out. Like, there's stuff that's confirmed, right? But we really got to see more. I am excited for Onimusha, definitely. What are some games that you are interested in, but it's getting zero attention? I don't know. Um, Zero attention. I mean, I'm not really like that excited for a lot of stuff up and coming because I don't really know what the hell's going on this year. Like I don't have like a list of okay, go so you tie. Thank you, Wolf Boy. Or your Tay, you tie. I know the pronunciation police are gonna come out and you know, enunciation. Should I say that instead of what do you think, Callie? Oh, she has the headphones on. I was gonna ask her. I was like, "What do you think, Callie?" Uh, no, I was gonna say, would it be pronunciation police or enunciation?
Those are two different words.
Two different words. Pronunciate, right?
Yeah, what?
I was gonna say because I can't say the Japanese thing wrong, or I'll get people on my ass. So I was like, I don't want the pronunciation police. That sounds right. Pronunciation police. There we go.
Yeah,
Enunciation is
two different words. Let me look up what they.
all right.
They're almost the same thing, but they're two different things.
I like how we're going down this rabbit hole right now. RE wishlist, RE trilogy HD remaster 2005, RE 9 2026, RE Code Veronica 2026, RE live action 2027. Give me that lineup and I'll be happy. That's pretty crazy. I mean, they could release remakes that close together, but they've done 2 and 3 pretty much together, but they worked on 2 and 3 at the same time. So unless they work on remakes and mainlines at the same time, you know, I don't think those games will never happen. I just want to say, I just don't know if that timeline will work out just like that, but I think you'll be satisfied. I think this little dip in no Resident Evil official news will be. All right, go ahead, Callie.
Pronunciation is the act of properly clustering each group of letters to make the correct sound. So it's pronouncing a word, it's how you pronounce a word correctly. While enunciating is the act of clearly speaking in order to allow someone to understand. So enunciating your words is like
Enunciating is like
saying it correctly.
right,
Pronunciating is saying.
like saying it.
Oh, so what's the difference? You can mumble a word and pronounce it correctly, but you're not enunciating it correctly. So enunciating is like making sure that you're able to say
Right.
someone so they can understand you.
Okay. Now the
Enunciating was correct.
okay.
That was the correct
Pronunciating is correct. Okay, there we go. Yeah, the grammar police are coming exactly back. Uh let's see. If Ari is announced next week, you don't feel like it would be released this year? The most Capcom has done is 11 months between announcements and release. I don't think it's coming out this year, Krypton. I'm going to be honest. I just don't think so. I just don't think it is. I could be wrong. But typically, a lot of the Resident Evil releases have come out in like the winter or the spring, give or take, right? So we'll see. Chris is Rocky. He can only punch. He can only punch though. One punch. Yeah, exactly. R2 remake. Bioran mod looks awesome. Seeing 3 different bosses along with the zombies, lickers, and dogs. Yeah, man, it's gonna be crazy to check that out. A lot of sword fighting games coming out. That's the thing, man. Like the sword fighting and all that stuff, and like the Souls like stuff. Again, that's cool if people like it. It's not really my cup of tea, but I do appreciate it, But it's just like a lot of games take that route nowadays, and I don't know how I feel about that being like a lot of the percentage of games. As long as they're good, people say, "Hey, that was a good game, man." I don't know what you're talking about. That's cool. I'll never just randomly bash a game that I don't. I just will say, "Okay, that genre just isn't for me," right? Um, but like something like Elden Ring, I didn't play it like all my friends, but I've seen enough and I played a little bit of it at I think it was I played it at we streamed it on the Game Complainers. Perry turned it on and I played it for a little bit. It was fun from what I played. So even I'm like trying to open my mind up a little bit more to like trying other things, trying different things, with those genres of games. Um, do you think RE9 will be announced first or a remake? Asks Raven, 80 Wolf. I'm gonna go with RE9. I'm gonna go with RE9. You know, we'll see. This demo coming out on February 12th. What's that for? I might be the only person that wants a Resident Evil Revelations remake and a Revelations 2 remake, says Wolfboy. I've heard of some people mention Revelations. I mean, it's just not going to happen anytime soon. You know, like I could always see them like remastering it, kind of uh, like Revelations 1 and 2. I don't think would ever get a remake from the ground up, if I'm being honest, because they're like spin-off games that I like them, but I don't know if Capcom would prioritize them, right? So I feel like with Revelations 1 and 2, it would be a situation like Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster, where it's like it's essentially a remaster, but it's redone up in the RE engine or the Rex engine, right? Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I do like those games. Don't get me wrong. And could they benefit from all of the treatments? Absolutely. Like all the updated treatments that they've done. Let's see. Krypton Gaming says the only reason why I say it is because it would be 2 years without a release if we don't get one this year, and Capcom only has 2 games dropping this year, and they can't carry out for a full year. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, because you have Okami as well. I don't know what. Did that say 2026 or 5? I don't even know, or even if it had a date at all. So I don't know. Let's see here. I did not play Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. I did answer that. You probably didn't hear it, but it looked cool. I just didn't play it. Fallen says, "What's Anthony? What's up? Missing the RE4 streams already, man." Yeah, I'm happy you guys like that. I'm gonna get into some of the live streaming stuff in a little bit, and talk about that. Resident Evil 5 remake is going to kick ass. I agree, Cody. Ruffy in the Riverside. This game coming out. 2D art style. Check it out. Okay. Still have the Umbrella and Dark Side Chronicle remaster. Yeah, I have them on the PS3 as well. I have it on Wii. I have it on PS3. No date for Okami. Okay. Yeah, because Pragmata is another one where it's like, is that going to come out this year? Do they not even have a date for that? I don't know. Would you do a 3 remake on Inferno with dice lock? I think one day, but I'd have to really get good at Inferno. And to this day, Inferno is still challenging for me. I mean, we did it back then, and I'm proud of that, and that was awesome. But it took 2 to tango with that one. Me and John definitely worked our asses off to beat Inferno mode in that time with that challenge. And Inferno mode has to be on like anybody's top 5 like hardest Resident Evil difficulties. Inferno mode has to be up there. There's just no way. You still haven't done Callisto DLC or The Suffering. Content is great, man. Thanks, Krypton. Yeah, no, I have not. I own the DLC for Callisto. Have not played it. No particular reason. I literally just have to jump on and play it. There's streams that are obviously planned out in advance and scheduled, but there's also streams that I spontaneously, do and stuff like that. So I'd like to plan that out and do that. Ruffy and the Riverside. That's why I got my attention. Don't forget it. Maybe write it down. Get it, write it down. R4 remake with dice lock. Yeah, that's another one that I'm planning on doing. Still want an Invisible. What's up, Carly McAdams? So yeah, I mean, we'll see how this week goes. I mean, we know how this week's gonna go. We're gonna get the Capcom thing, but if Sony, a lot of times with Sony, they'll officially announce the date and time for a lot of these events like 2 days in advance. You know, so I kind of just have to leave next week open at some point, you know, like whatever point that we're streaming. The only thing Capcom has done to disappoint me is the RE3 remake. Still a fun game, but once I think about it, it could have been better. Or think about what could have been, it hurts. Yeah, I mean, I do like it. I do think there's flaws. There's several flaws in RE3 remake, but I still actually enjoy it. Not over the original, don't get me twisted, but I still like it. Would like them to remake Resident Evil 6. It could happen, Wolfboy, honestly. Krypton Gaming says, how's John? Is he done with YouTube? Not necessarily. You know, he's doing his own thing. You know, he's got a lot of stuff lined up for this year. A lot of good stuff. We were just hanging out, watching some football, talking about some stuff, and you know, the year of plans is, you know, it's wide open. There's so much that is kind of, you know, being worked on. There's a lot of stuff being talked about. So you never know. Mark Hickman says that's why they call it Inferno. It's like eating extra hot, spicy food without any water. Yeah, it's fucking rough, you know. I've been thinking might be time to give Dino Crisis a try. Make Dr. Grant proud. So, Dino Crisis is, I mean, it's worth it. I mean, Dino Crisis, and we might as well segue into Dino Crisis a little bit. Dino Crisis is awesome because it's kind of underrated in many ways. Like, it has a big fan base now, but it's kind of cool to see people being able to play this on PC. And GOG has, you know, both of them, and it's, you know, no DRM, no anything. You just play it, and it works on your PC, on modern PCs, and it's awesome. So, there's, I think, a need for Dino Crisis to come back for a lot of people, and maybe this. I mean, so the funny thing is, I didn't mention this, and we talked about this on the Game Complainers. According to GOG themselves, they had to kind of convince Capcom to actually put out Dino Crisis on GOG. Like, I don't think Capcom wanted to do it, and that's the case. I don't think, I know, according to the video that they put up of a little like behind the scenes of how they wanted to bring that back. I don't know why they were so reluctant. I mean, those PC versions are just sitting there, and they don't have to do much with them, you know, to do it. So, still want an invisible enemy knife only run for RE1 remake. That would be awesome. That's something to do. Still got to finish my invisible run on RE remake, says Cody. Definitely do it. It's fun. Leon, YouTube, what's up, man? Dino Crisis was actually terrifying at times. It was, man. I agree. I heard they were adding space zombie dinosaurs to RE9. Yeah, exactly. It's like it turns into Dino Crisis 3, and then we're like, what the fuck happened? A fellow member Gwen in the house. What's going on? Good to see you. You should try RE remake knife only visible enemy run. I could. That's something I could definitely try. We definitely want Dino Crisis streams. Well, this week that will happen. I'm probably going to we'll do the first game, we'll do the second game, all the way around, and we'll have a good time. It's funny because recently, I think it was, what was it? It was like maybe a couple months ago. Was it? It was in the fall time, I think. I did Dino Crisis Rebirth or something like that, and that was fun. So I'm kind of like a little refreshed on Dino Crisis, at least a little bit. I'm not like, again, I don't know where everything is. I'm not like as good on the first game as I am with some recent Resident Evil titles, but 2 is a lot of fun, and I haven't played 2 in a while since me and John played it back in 2018, 17, I don't even know, 19 at this point. It might have been 2018 or 19, but it's been a long time. And Dino Crisis 2 is actually a lot less puzzle and just more shooting shit and farming dinosaurs for points. So definitely play it. I don't know if Rapid Crafter's still in here, but he was saying, hey man, like I can't wait to actually play it for my first time. So there's a lot of people that are playing Dino Crisis for the first time. And I told him, I'm like, dude, have fun because it's actually really cool to play something like that for the first time. Being such a big fan of Resident Evil, there's no excuse for these people to not check it out, you know? So having it on PC where it's easily accessible and it can run on any PC with any controller and it can just play with no mods. GOG, Good Old Games, they're doing the Lord's work. They're doing such a great job between Resident Evil 1 through 3 trilogy, and then you have, you know, Dino Crisis 1 and 2 together. I think that's fantastic. And I know there's people that are like, dude, why isn't it, you know, put out on the consoles as far as, you know, like putting them out on everything? And I get that. Same thing with the Resident Evil trilogy. But guess what? Take what you can get because at least if you show Capcom a little bit that these are moving on GOG, who knows what could happen. So I know Capcom was reluctant to do Dino Crisis on GOG. That is the case, but I'm happy that they convinced them. I don't know why they would have a problem with it. I don't know if they had a problem with it. They probably just didn't see a reason because they're thinking, oh, well, Resident Evil, that's like our top selling IP. So, yeah, you could do that. But then when they mentioned Dino Crisis, they were probably like, well, why are we doing that? You know, and it's like because people like Dino Crisis or they want to play it for the first time, you know? So, what's up, Quentin Bauer, fellow member in the house, one of the longest running members. What's up, man? Scarecrow of the Night says, I'm late, but I heard Dino Crisis. I heard about Dino Crisis. Honestly, I need a break from Resident Evil. I've always been a Dino Crisis fan for years, so I'm glad it's gathering a huge following. Yeah, it's a great game. I do enjoy it, and it's very RE and Jurassic Park all in one. So you know, it's very fun, and a lot of people are playing it for the first time. So it's a little different when you're going into a game that's from, you know, well, I mean, at this point, the anniversary already passed, but you figure 1999, you know, it's crazy that there's a lot of people that haven't played it. But if you think about it, like, because I know Dino Crisis 1 is on PS5. As far as the PS Classic or whatever. So I know that that's still the case, but you know, it deserves to be out everywhere, and maybe one day it will. JD preferred or Nico, sorry, with the $2 New Zealand says Ant the Nemesis Specialist, love your channel. Thank you, Nico. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate the support tonight. JD says, I prefer Dino Crisis 2. I got so hooked on it more than the first one. Yeah, Dino Crisis 2 is definitely a little bit easier to kind of jump in and jump out. Where Dino Crisis 1 is a little more of like, you know, a lot of puzzles, a lot of codes, a lot of backtracking. Dino Crisis 2 doesn't have as much backtracking. It's more just like go, 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 and then just farm points, basically. Shaza says, I agree. At all first survival horror games I play are the hardest of franchise, while the seconds are always fun to play. RE1, Silent Hill 1, DC1. Stop, Jimmy. Come on. Yeah, I mean, sometimes like, you know, when it goes into like the classic versus the sequel, yeah, there's always something that's more of like a minimalistic approach to the first games sometimes in those franchises. So it's definitely like a pattern because the first game, you don't have as much resources. The weapons aren't as broad. You know, the setting might be more isolated or contained. You know, you have those little things that happen. Silent Hill 2 Remake was amazing to play and experience. I agree. Silent Hill 2 for me, that was my game of the year of 2024. I thoroughly enjoyed it, you know. let's see. They made Dino Crisis available without being behind a paywall, so hopefully we'll see the potential in it. Yeah, that too. I am happy that happened. I did a whole video on that as well, where I kind of memed on it in the first video, and then by the second video, I was like, they listened to us or something happened because it's like, don't put it behind a subscription paywall. If I want to buy the game, I will buy it. And guess what? I already bought it on the PS3. So when I signed in to finally see, hey, download Dino Crisis, I was like, awesome. And then Director's Cut, same thing. Download Director's Cut. I was like, awesome. That's so cool. It's honoring my purchase. That's how it should be, So nothing wrong with that. And yeah, hopefully they see some kind of like, resurgence of that, because fans are already going crazy for it. And Mark's asking, when am I going to take on the next Leech Hunter attempt? May the spirit of Rocky protect you from the Eliminators. Oh, dude, I don't know. I got so burnt out on Leech Hunter when I tried it for a few streams there, or a week of streams or something like that, or 2 weeks of streams. I don't even know at this point. But I do have to go back and circle back around to 0 because I want to complete it, and I want to get the the weapons that make the rest of the achievements or trophies easier. So I really got to do that. What's up, RWK? Angie's in the house. Gwen says, saw something on Twitter about the state of play next week. Time to be delusional about RE9 again. I don't know. Nothing's confirmed, but it's rumored to be on the 10th, which would be a week from today. They have had it on Mondays before. They've had it on Thursdays. I think they've had it even on Tuesdays. Someone might fact check me on that, but let's just see if Sony officially says something. But I will say this: Sony does need to go with a state of play this year. They need to show people what's going on. So they're actually up for one. So I think February makes sense for a state of play. We're not as attached to Dino Crisis as RE, so maybe Dino Crisis won't be as such of a risk to remake. That's true, I think, but they're also thinking, well, if we remake this, then who's going to buy it? And it would be all Resident Evil fans. So at least I would think so. But I don't know if they think it would be a hard sell. People would even know what it is. I mean, like, fans know, but like they're probably also banking on the Onimusha effect, where there's a lot of people just jumping in for the first time. So they're not even going to play the first 3 Onimusha games. They might go back and play them eventually, but this new one will be their introduction to it. Even though it's like a more of like a sequel, not a remake kind of stuff. But RWK, what it's up, man? The guy who leaked the Switch 2 reveal date supposedly leaked the state of play for February 14th. Really, the 14th? That's horrible timing. But if I heard the 10th, so that's what I've been hearing. Although I wouldn't mind RE Mercenaries game for PC consoles. I think a full Mercenaries game would be epic. Imagine the majority of the characters from almost every game and maps, says Scarecrows. I agree. I think an RE Mercenaries game now would be fucking killer because you have so many maps. You have all the characters, for the most part, in the RE engine already. You have those models. Just, adjust it for that and give us maps. And it would be so cool to have a standalone game that isn't just Mercenaries 3D, but it's a Mercenaries game that's on console and PC, and it has crossplay, so you could play with everybody on any console anywhere. That is the ultimate like fan hangout game night Resident Evil to put on, would be a Mercenaries game. Like, how cool would that be? It'd be killer. Axel says, may the eye of the tiger protect you. Exactly. Anyone watch Presence? I heard it's not much of a horror film. I have not. I have not watched it. Now, let's see. Kular says, I don't know why. This time I feel like we're never getting RE news, but I got to be patient. Yeah, I mean, it really hasn't been that much. of a wait. Yeah, it's been a year without stuff, but we know that they're working on stuff. So it's like they've gone this long before without saying anything. You know, we just have to be confident, and we have to know that they are working hard. They have multiple teams working on this stuff, and they get the shit done. Capcom never complains about crunch or working overtime. Japanese companies do what they got to do to get shit done. You know what I mean? And I appreciate that about their work ethic because they're smart, they're fucking hardworking, and Capcom knows what they're doing, especially in recent years. So I got no complaints with their work ethic or anything. You know, what's your ancestry look like? I look like a what?
What do you say?
He says, "What does my ancestry look like? I look like a Byzantine prince. Byzantine. I don't know what that is.
Hold on.
Uh,
That might be like a. Let me see the comment. Hold on.
yeah, it's something. Uh, I'm Italian, so you know, I get mistaken for everything else that under the sun. Nate the Hate is the guy, and he said the week of Valentine's Day. Yeah, I heard the week of Valentine's Day, but I heard the 10th. But like, I feel like it's not going to be on a Friday.
Jesus Christ.
What's that?
Where is Istanbul? Bazin. It's a place.
It's a place.
It's now called Istanbul.
Oh, okay. It's okay. So basically, he says I'm in Istanbul.
Turkey.
It's Turkey.
Look like a Middle Eastern.
Yeah, basically, I look like a Middle Eastern prince.
What the fuck?
It's okay. It's not the first time I've heard it. Won't be the last. But just look at the nose, and you know that this is Italian. And you know what they say. You know what they say. Nate the Hate is the guy, and I already read that. Golden Freak, what's up? You think we might get an RETs in this event, just like Capcom next? So they kind of laid out what this is going to be. I you know, I think if anything at the Sony event we might get something. I don't think they will. I don't think they'll be a surprise. You know what I mean? I don't know. I like they could say, "Oh, by the way," you know what I mean? But it's not going to be like I don't know. I think they're going to separate it a little bit because it says 40 minutes and they have a lot to go over as far as like the Onimushas and the Monster Hunters. They got to do that shit. So I don't know. Gang's talking said I look like his high school friend. JD says, what did JD say? Anthony, the audio's dropped slightly. Let me know. I mean, I haven't adjusted anything, so let me know. Yeah, I'm 100% Italian. That's true. He was in the video games and a Capcom fan. Well, that's crazy. Still remember the teaser of Capcom made for RE7 in 2015 looked like a Saw movie, but with a creepy ghost girl. Yeah, they had Evelyn thrown in the mix. Then it became more of like a Texas Chainsaw Leatherface situation. Yeah, Golden Freak says, guys, be sure to join the Discord. It's true.
So everybody in the comments should be liking.
Yeah, everyone in the chat should be liking because there's only 43 likes and 74 viewers. So, that helps me out a lot. And we're going to be more faithful to the old games. They keep saying that bull crap. Yeah, we'll talk about the RE movie in a little bit here. Because at least with this live hangout, I have shit to actually talk about, like, as well as what you guys bring up. Wow.
I agree.
Not a model here, just
Just a hot boyfriend.
an asshole from New Jersey. Kular says no sound. I mean, I hope there's sound. I mean, I see audio coming through, and yeah, Callie has sound. Yeah, let me know. I mean, let me know how I sound. I mean, is it too low? Is it too high? It's been a long since an RE game has been announced. June 2022, almost 3 years. Yeah, that's a long time. It's a long time, but we did get a lot of stuff. RE4 remake was a very thank you, Quentin. RE4 remake was a very it's a very big remake and it was awesome. So I think that was a reason to kind of go away for a little while and do what you got to do. Callie's face. Callie's like, uh, there, there we go. There it is.
I know he's cute.
Let's see. Off topic. Did you see Matthew Lillard returning as? I have a lot of problems with Scream. I have a lot of problems with Scream. I don't know if I want to get into Scream because that's gonna be a whole fucking rabbit hole. I don't know. Like, there's always the rumors of like, oh, he's still alive, but the TV fell on his fucking head. That motherfucker's dead. Stu Macher is dead. I don't know. It's like, look, in my opinion, I don't want. Again, I could talk about Scream all night, so I'm not gonna bore everybody. Cool. Coolar's awesome. Oh God.
Oh dear God.
Yeah, Stu Walker should not be alive. Yeah, that's just stupid. And if I were to I'm going to say this right now, they should have just retconned 5 and 6 and whatever and just started from 4 because I think Dewey's fate was completely, I don't know. That was just uncalled for. Gwen's a Stumacher survival truther. I understand. Look, people wanted him to come back for years, and I don't think he's coming back as a ghost.
The other guy came back as a ghost.
That's true. I don't know how they're. Apparently he's coming back. I don't know. Let's see. Where was I? I started talking about Scream, and now I don't even know where the fuck I'm at. Let's see. No problem. That's just me. My bad. Yeah, Callie is the mod, so she does help me out with that. Gave up Scream after 4. I love the first 2, but that's all. I know it's tough once Wes was gone. Capcom is being smart by withholding info in RE9. They're really building up anticipation. I feel like the hype and the speculation's high. It's true. I mean, I think they don't even really do that on purpose. It just naturally happens. But they're taking their time, which is fine. Last time I heard, they're doing a whole new killer using AI to bring the likeness of previous killers back to mess with Sydney's mind thing. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, that would be a very 2025 twist on it. And Callie says, "Gotta support the babe." Always appreciate that. Always support each other in our endeavors. That's what it's about. Somehow Stumacher has returned, just like the Emperor. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It just shouldn't be a fucking thing. I like the last 2 movies just pissed me off, man. I don't know. Like I have my like I liked watching them. They were entertaining, but like would I go back to them? You know. You didn't miss the showcase, Steve's Factor. Actually, tomorrow's the Capcom showcase, and the Sony showcase is the following week, apparently. The OG writer originally planned for Stu to return to the main baddie in Scream 3 before they went in another direction. Only makes sense that the OG writer is back and I believe directed. Yes, that is true. Yeah. So Kevin Williamson is back. And so, we'll see. I mean, even if it's like at least better than 5 and 6, like I'll take it, but I don't know. Because now Kincaid's not coming back, and it's like, wasn't Kincaid her husband in the last one? I don't know. Scarecrow says, can't believe they're bringing back a whole bunch of Ghostface. Ghostface it's a little too much. Yeah, I mean, they keep doing the multi-killer thing. It really hasn't been a single killer since Roman. Roman was the last, like, it was just him in 3. I know in 1, technically, there was 3 killers, including Roman, the 3 killer theory, which is a whole thing that goes back to the late 90s, which is kind of proved to be true by the time you get to 3. Let's see here. Yeah, around the time there's a lot of violence with the stuff going on in 99, and yeah, they changed a lot. They're just desperate. That's why they need a new Scream. Well, Scream's making a lot of money now, more than almost it ever has. So there you go. Thought girlfriend was. Whoa, what is happening?
I think that he just thought that. I think he was watching somebody.
Anyway, yeah, coming back as Ghostface. What's Callie's favorite Resident Evil? Let's ask her. What's your favorite Resident Evil?
Either RE1 remake or RE3 remake.
Okay, RE1 remake or 3 remake? Okay. Let's see. I want NECA to give us Ed and Lorraine Warren action figures. Like, what the fuck? I'm surprised that isn't already a thing. That isn't? Scott Foley is back, aka Roman. Really?
Really?
So are they really running with this AI shit? See, Perry sent me stuff and I've tried to read up on it. So I don't know. Yeah, RE3 remake very controversial. Yeah, it is.
I like it because she's cute, and I like the voice acting, and I don't like that the clock tower isn't there. But other than that, I like it.
Okay. Same reasons why I don't like it and like it. Imagine they've hyped this up with the cast and they're all in it for 30-second flashback. I mean, they could. They very much could. I think the coolest thing Matthew Lillard has been game to come back for 30 years. That's true. Yeah, and he still takes care of himself, you know what I mean? Like I feel like he'll have no problems jumping back in on some small role, very much like Skeet Ulrich did for Billy, appearing in the the window and stuff or the mirror. I meant to put they're bringing back killers from the past into the new installment. It's like the first. It's the it's the first Scream 7. Uh, yeah. I mean, I don't know how they're gonna work in that whole AI thing, but let's see. Glad they're rebooting RE. Well, we'll talk about RE in a second. The films. The Gears trilogy coming to PlayStation. I think it's awesome. Yeah, I think it's. I mean, that's kind of where Microsoft is going. They're putting their stuff on everything. So we've been talking about this for the last year on the Game Complainers. We've been anticipating their announcement, and then they just did Forza the other day. So they pretty much are throwing in the torch. Dude, if they're bringing back Ghostface, can they bring back Timothy Oliphant? Mickey is my favorite Ghostface. Timothy Oliphant's fucking awesome. He was Mickey the Killer's awesome. I think they made Mickey too like obvious that he was the killer because a lot of people even predicted it from the trailer because it's like Mickey the Tarantino film student, like when he's like talking to like they're going through the suspects, like you don't put that in the trailer or just be like, oh yeah, let's like leave that there, like it's so obvious, you know. Let's see here. I still love Patricia. Uh, who did the voice for RE5 Jill? She's a real life firefighter. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, she did a great job. And you should try out Alan Wake 2 on Steam. It's like RE mixed with Ellie Noir. Currently playing through it. It's great. Yeah, I got to play it, man. I'm so behind on that. Nico says Rodrigo from Code Veronica. Do you care about his character? Could they have done more? I think Rodrigo is one of the perfect characters to do more with in Code Veronica remake. Like actually have him help Claire in like little bits, and he's like also trying to help her get off the island, and he's not just in a room the whole time. But that's just my take on that. So I do like him though. Like very he doesn't have to get eaten by the gulp worm again, but they could make it happen, or they could just like maybe have his role a little bit more involved before we switch to Chris. And then if they want to kill him, they can. But Anthony's actually fully 100% Wawa Peach tea. He is not human. You heard it from here first. That's true. Too much peach tea going on. They can retcon some of Scream 5 and 6 and make it where Stu was actually the one who killed Dewey, because I don't buy a short skinny girl lifting a grown man. No offense to short killer girls. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm sure women can throw men through fucking glass walls and shit, but the killer in fucking 6 or what was that, 5 could not do that. I'm sorry. Haven't they announced? They haven't announced it, but Emma Roberts is rumored to return. So they're doing this whole like every killer type shit. I don't know if you're a Return of the Living Dead fan, but have you heard they're making a sequel to the first one? I have. I am a fan of Return of the Living Dead, and my blood is just Wawa T and D-Pep can confirm. uh, Return of the Living Dead is great. I think they're doing this whole like requel thing where they go directly from the first movie to like a sequel, because there was sequels to Return of the Living Dead, which are just okay. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like from what I saw, it looked pretty cool, but I mean, final execution, we'll see. It's tough when you bring it back and it has such a dedicated following. Or rather them expand Steve, so his death is actually sad. I think they'll expand Steve 100%. Buffy the Vampire Slayer sequel just got announced. That's interesting. I did see that. Perry told me about that. Again, bringing back, like, making a direct sequel via movie or show is like a big thing now, because nostalgia is a huge thing with 80s and 90s stuff. So a lot of times you're going to be seeing these, shows come back with like a show of where they are now, and it's 30 to 40 years later or whatever it is, right? It's like the Halloween thing where it's like, you had H2O, right? 20 years later. Then you had H4O, which was Halloween 2018, basically. And it's like a legacy sequel. Yes, the Final Destination trailer looks great. I'm excited for that. I showed Callie the first movie. I got to show you the second one, Final Destination.
Did you show me the first movie?
Yeah, we watched it on AMC's like Fright Fest thing. But I got to show you the second one, and then the third one. I think there was a fourth one. I think it was the last one they did. Dawn of the Dead remake was great too. That is a great movie. There's a story I read that they may do the opening scene with a flashback of the killing of Maureen Prescott. That'd be fucking wild. because you know what that means. Like Roman killed her because he was envious of her, and then blamed it on, or Stu and Billy took, he pretty much was able to pin it on them, right? Because they were going to take that and run that they did it. Um, and then they were going to do their own killings, which they did. So I still listen to 45 Graves Party Time song. It's a good song. Anthony, I'm heading out. I've got an early start. I'm sorting the sale of my mother's house. Now she's gone. Catch you next time. Awesome show, buddy. Take care. JD, you take care, man. Uh, Again, much love to you and your family. And I know that stuff like that is never, ever easy when it comes to losing, but also parting ways with a house. I definitely know how that feels, especially when it's a family member that's no longer there. I've been there. So definitely take care of JD. All right. Much strength to you and your family. And I know that's hard, but I know you'll get through it, man. You're strong, so keep at it. Too much silly weakness. Even a strong, trained woman would have had to put a lot of effort to throw a normal sized guy around. I mean, it's just also even before the strength argument, it's like Dewey, why would you put yourself in that situation? Like Dewey would not put himself in that situation to get got like that. I understand it was like a tricky thing, but like, come on, dude. Like, you know, uh, if they actually fix Steve like they did Ashley and Carlos, I'll be impressed. This is from Frankie. Um, Steve is probably the most polarizing main character in the main line, as you either love or hate him. That's true. Yeah, and I think they'll fix that. There's actually 5 destinations, not including the new one. Okay, there's 5. Okay, so I think I checked out after 3. I might have seen the 4th one. I probably never saw the 5th one. So, but really, a new Buffy is coming. Uh, I used to like Sarah. When I was younger, she didn't. She doesn't break me out. Jesus Christ. Um, let's see. There's a plane, the roller coaster, the highway, the accident, the racetrack. That's why I was like, let me not read that. Um,
Dog, y'all gotta be careful in the comments. Sometimes he reads this shit out loud, dog.
I mean, I make sure I read it or like I scan it before I just say it because there's some assholes that will like
That will just say shit.
make it to where I say shit and it's like offensive or it's like something I can't say. We've had people like that, but you guys are pretty good with that. But how you get your rocks off is how you get your rocks off. Like I'm not judging. But the plane, the roller coaster, the highway accident, the racetrack, and the bridge final destination so far. Okay, the racetrack one, I don't think I've seen that one. I think I saw the trailer because I feel like in my head I think I've seen all of them, but like maybe because like 3 used to play all the time on demand. I've seen. I'm pretty sure I've seen 4. Um, but yeah, the Dewey killing. It's been rumored that it was indeed Stu. He's behind things, and he would return in the movie. It was supposed to have him with the core 4 and legacy characters. Yeah, they could always be like, and I was here for this, and just kind of fix stuff. I mean, Scream has done that where it's gone back retroactively and said, hey, by the way, this isn't how it happened. This is how it happened. Let me explain it to you, kind of thing. So that they could do whatever they want, really. Final Destination 1 and 2 are the only important ones. I'll stick with those, but I'm excited for Bloodline. The 5th one ends with the plane accident of the first one. 5th is a prequel. Oh, okay. Okay, I do think I remember seeing that. I'm actually really fond of the Scream movies. It's really the only slasher movie I like. Halloween movies are pretty funny. I don't like supernatural stuff, never have. First Terminator movie. Yeah, I mean, you like what you like. I like, anything and everything, so Um, nothing. Base dad, what's up, man? Nothing crazy. There's a Capcom spotlight coming on tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we'll see. You know, it's already kind of confirmed what's going to be there. But next week there may be a state of play with some Resident Evil news. Take care, Quentin. Thank you so much, man, for always supporting. Yeah. The first Terminator is like a horror movie. I do agree with that. Does Callie like the Rocky movies or Stallone? Yeah, she does. Yes, I've shown her all of them. I actually have them all on VHS too, right up there. If you see that. I actually just recently got RE4 Remake Fatigue. I'm too lazy to play it again. It's still an amazing remake. Yeah, I mean, even I took a long break from it, to be honest. No particular reason. I just did. I played the fuck out of it for you guys. Then I played the fuck out of it for Separate Ways. Right around the time, or just before Keeper's Diary, actually. Keeper's Diary was the fall of 23, going into 24. And it came out, you know, it was like randomly, you know, shown in the, it was randomly announced, basically. And then, like, thankfully I had time to do that in September before the October like shooting. But yeah, that was like the shooting of the film was like a month out of that. So I was like, oh, let's try to do all the content on it now. So played the fuck out of it, and then, you know, been trying to play it a little bit more recently. For the the one game I can talk about that we will be playing in the Resident Evil Challenge of 2025 over on Resident Evil Challenger will be Resident Evil 4 Remake. I can speak about that because that's been talked about, but everything else is under wraps. We will be doing a Resident Evil 4 race. So all of the gamers will be playing simultaneously Resident Evil 4 Remake. And who's going to be the best? We'll see. But the practice has to come out now. So I'm in the process of planning that trip. As you guys know, that will be in June of this year. There's also going to be a Resident Evil Challenger meetup that is happening as well the week after the challenge. So you definitely don't want to miss that. Yeah, they're cooking a lot of stuff, man. That's why I'm not concerned about the lack of like actual Resident Evil content, because I know they're working on shit. So it's like we're gonna get it. Favorite 80s action star for me, it's Arnold. I love them both. I love Stallone. I love Arnold. I love Jean-Claude Van Damme. I love Dolph Lundgren. You know, just like a lot of great stuff from that era. But yeah, Stallone has always been one of my favorites. I love Arnold too. Don't get me wrong, but Stallone, you know, I don't know. You know, maybe it's because I'm 30 minutes away from Philly, and I have that attachment to, you know, I don't know, just Italian Americans, trying to make your dreams happen. I don't know. There's just something about it that I always liked, and like I said, I'm close enough to Philly, so maybe Stallone by default. Is it safe to buy open box TVs at Best Buy as long as I get a warranty? Usually, man. I mean, sometimes there's really nothing wrong with them. Sometimes, they do check it, but it just depends. Nowadays, it's very hard to know who's checking what. But yeah, definitely, I would say so, man. I mean, you can return it. You got 14 days to return it. So if it is fucked, just check it out, Favorite Rockies, probably, it's got to be 4. But I would say like 1 is probably still my favorite. I love Rocky Balboa too. The last one that wasn't Creed. Back to RE, I do think Leon, rumor is true. Him and the director follow each other, and under SAG page, there's a AAA game listed under the NDA. Yeah, I mean, I think Leon being the main character, I think that's kind of more in line with what's going to happen. Well, the port's to PC, Mad Devil demo. So Dino Crisis is back, but the port's to PC. So Looking forward to 28 years later. Was a big fan of the previous films. What's up, Captain Catch? Danny Boyle is one of the best directors to come out of the UK. Yeah, I'm excited for 28 years later. I cannot wait. You have the Rocky movies and not the Creed ones. Good. A real fan who knows the superior series. Yeah, I'm not really into the Creed ones. I watch Rocky movies every year starting on Thanksgiving. That's great, Mr. Wesker, because when I was a kid too, growing up all the time, AMC would always run the Rocky movies around the holidays, like around November, and like I always associate that with like that time of the year. Um, into the Pixels backroom series. I'm not sure what that is, Mars Invader. And yeah, I love Arnold too. Figured a lot of people would be buying TVs just for the Super Bowl, then return it. This might be, yeah. No, that happens a lot. I will say firsthand. I was there for 6 years, so six or like maybe five Super Bowls, and I will say that always happens. They'll rent it for the game, or like especially when the Eagles were in last time. I was working there, and Carson Wentz came in and bought a open box Vizio for his garage, and still wanted it for a cheaper price. It's like, dude, you're Carson Wentz. Like, even though you're out on injury right now, like, you really got to be a cheap fuck right now. But you know, you know how celebrities or sports people can be. He was a nice guy, I guess, but I talked to him, but I didn't check at like he came in two different times. So one was to look at a drone, and sequel for 28 years later is already being made. 28 years later, the Bone Temple, is that the subtitle they gave it? I fucking hope not. That's a horrible subtitle. Just call it 28 years later. Yeah, the Rocky statue is awesome. And I'm just saying, I'm sorry to anybody who's a Commanders fan or, whatever, but, before they versed us in our hometown of Philly, they put the Commanders hat and the jersey on the Rocky statue as an insult. And anytime that happens, the team loses. I'm just saying, you don't fuck with the Rocky statue. It's sacred to Philly. You don't fuck with it, okay? Got it? Good. Just saying, you don't do that. That is sacred territory. The Rocky Steps, the Rocky statue is right next to the steps. I was able to shout out to Nuji from Resident Evil Challenger. We had a great day in Philly. I took him to the Rocky Steps, took him to Delisandro's, got a bitchin' fucking cheesesteak, really fucking good. It just melted in your mouth. That shit was delicious. And I'm just saying, you got to show people the real deal when they come around your place. You know what I mean? Out of respect. We're not fucking around here. We're not taking them to fucking Mickey D's and all this shit. No, you got to get a real Philly cheesesteak. You got to get the real Philly experience. Just saying. I'm not in Philly, but I'm in like the suburbs. You know what I mean? Like close by. So I grew up all around that stuff through the years. The fans get a bad rap. I get it. But, when you're near such great stuff like Philadelphia, like New York City, I'm only about like 2.5 hours away. That's the kind of shit you got to check out. Jersey has a lot of great stuff too. I'm not knocking Jersey. We got amazing restaurants. It's just very, very woodsy out here, right? So sometimes you got to travel a little bit to. But I mean, as far as concerts go, all my concerts are in Philly mostly. I mean, that's all the big major concert venues are there. So I've been going to concerts in Philly for more than half my life. You know what I mean? Um, Other than that, I've ever served someone famous. No, not really. I mean, again, like the closest thing I get to being around stars or famous people would be Monster Mania, and like I said, I've explained some of those stories to you guys before, but that's about it. Like some sports dudes would come into Best Buy, but sorry, that sometimes I would know who they are, sometimes I wouldn't. Um, that is the title of the sequel. A new trilogy is coming, so they're calling it. They're calling it the Bone Temple. Interesting. Yvette, what's going on? It's been a while. Good to see you. Hit that like button, guys, by the way. So I know we're talking about movies, we're just kind of shooting the shit. That's fine. But I want to change gears a little bit here. So uh Resident Evil film reboot. So the reboot of Resident Evil is happening, and it's caused obviously different discussions. A lot of people weren't very you know surprised when they saw the press release, and we have this whole thing with Zach Kreger, you know, filmmaker who did Barbarian. Uh, I basically just I I don't really have a lot of hope for live action stuff. At this point, I just want it to be, you know, I just want something faithful, but I know that there's always going to be, there's always going to be like different things that always get included that I just don't like. And so, I don't want to always go in with like a negative, we got people like Horror Fan and other people that are really excited about it. So I respect that. I'm not going to take anybody's excitement away or enjoyment away of what this Resident Evil reboot will happen. The second reboot in 5 years, because Welcome to Raccoon City. I am happy that they're leaving Welcome to Raccoon City like just dead in the water. I'm happy that that's happening because I just did not want to see a prequel or a sequel to that. I don't know what this movie will be based on. We don't know. But, um, if PlayStation Studios, Constantine Films is still involved, right? I mean, it's just, we've been burned so many times before, and I say this a lot. But at the same time, we'll just have to see when more stuff comes out. We'll have to see when the casting comes out. The bidding war is happening. So, we'll see who ends up getting it, if it even will be in theaters. But the reason why they have to do a lot of this stuff is because they will lose the rights if they don't put out a live action film every so often, which, again, some people don't know. So, because Welcome to Raccoon City didn't get a sequel and it was released post, pandemic of, movies kind of getting not really the best treatment, and theaters not getting the best treatment, and a lot of them shut down, and a lot of people didn't go see movies for a while. I think it got caught up in that, and if it didn't, would it have gotten a sequel? I don't know. Have we would have lived in a timeline where that was being a possibility? You know what I mean? I don't know. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of potential here, but whether or not that, but again, I'm not saying he's a bad filmmaker. I mean, he is a good, like, he has a vision. I get it. So I'm not going to discredit it. I just think when they say basic press release stuff like back to the roots, bringing it back to the roots, that just seems a little stale to me. We've seen that so many times, and I'm just not really into that. And that just seems like such a cookie cutter response. Like, oh, back to the roots, back to the roots. It's like, motherfucker, you can't even find the roots. Like, I don't even know what you're talking about here. Are you still working at Best Buy? We're practically family, man. I installed TVs and home theater. Oh, nice. No, my Best Buy days have been over since 2021. I put 6 years in, and I didn't really see myself progressing past that. I was in home theater, and then I was in Car-Fi, and I enjoyed it, and I met some of my best friends there, John included. You know what I mean? So I'm very grateful for Best Buy, and I loved my managers, and like, they're still really cool people. And if I ever wanted to go back or needed to, I'm sure they would hire me in a heartbeat. But I just don't want to go down that road again. I think that chapter is kind of closed for me. for many reasons because I'm trying to do this. You know what I mean? Whether I'm successful or not will be, I guess, to be determined. But I think I have found success through the community I do have, and 15 years of doing this on the channel. So, do I like Always Sunny? Absolutely. Yeah, Always Sunny is amazing. It's going to be adapted into Rambo 4, but that didn't happen. Well, actually, I'm happy that, Axel, because Rambo 4 is kick ass. Krypton says the director could pull it off. Aquarat says, I was praying they reboot it instead of continuing it from the previous film, so I'm happy, but still have. Yeah, no, exactly. I agree. Stephen Max says this sounds like a dirty movie that RWK watches. Yeah. The Bone Temple. A movie about the mansion incident should be easy. Yeah, like seriously, can we just have that? Mark saying, do I have the novelization of the Anderson films? I actually don't. I do need them. So I got to hunt on eBay. They're probably more expensive nowadays. Or like Welcome to Raccoon Shitty, the movie based on Resident Evil. Basically, Miguel. If they don't, yeah, I mean, look, I agree, Aquarat. I mean, as far as like, they just have to make the characters look like the characters. They have to cast accurately, in my opinion. They have to make the set design look like the set design. They have to make the zombies look like zombies. The BOWs look like BOWs. Like, that's the thing, Gangs Talking. Take it, like, their take on it. You could get Plant 42 in here. It depends on how accurate they want to make this thing to RE1. Stevie Max saying if the movie doesn't have a flying cow in the air, I want nothing to do with it. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I agree, Captain Catch. When they say back to the roots, it's just so like, ugh. Like, brother, come on. This guy stinks. It's just, it's lame, man. It's not even a, like, expected thing for them to get it right at this point, because for the 10 things that they'll get right, they'll take like 40 to 50 steps backwards. You know what I mean? What's up, Jeff M., fellow member in the house? You didn't miss anything. We just talked about the Capcom Spotlight event that's happening tomorrow. Talked a little bit about Dino Crisis 1 and 2 coming back and the excitement that I have for playing that this week, and potentially a PlayStation State of Play next week, which isn't confirmed yet, but we'll see if there's Resident Evil news on that event. And we were just talking some shit about horror movies, and now we're talking about the Resident Evil live action reboot. Because since I've done the last live stream Hangout, all this news has come out with, like, the Capcom Spotlight and the Dino Crisis stuff and the film. So Kular says the things to focus on: Jill and Chris, Wesker undercover, find some in-game files, Tyrant, Play 42, and Crimson Heads. I'm fine with that. Even if you don't like, I mean, you could have Lisa Trevor in there, but even if they skipped out on Lisa Trevor, I wouldn't be completely upset. I do think she's awesome, and I love the lore and the story that she has. But like, you could if you have those other things in there, Sounds like a certain RA game that had the same concept. Yeah, exactly. Back to the roots. Back to the roots. Yeah. I think it's going to be an RE0 movie. That's an interesting prediction. Yeah. Cool. Looking forward to the Capcom and potential PlayStation events. Yeah. Yeah, we'll be covering them all here tomorrow. Me and Perry will be live around like 4:30, 4:45 Eastern Standard Time for a 40-minute event. And I think 20 of those minutes is all the other games they're talking about. The other 20 is, in fact, Monster Hunter. I don't know what else they're showing from Monster Hunter, considering they've showed so much, and it comes out this month, at the end of this month. So, I don't fucking know. Oh, yeah, the zombie dogs. Yeah, the zombie dogs got to be in there. I feel like they have to if it's on the mansion, because it's what throws them into the mansion. You know what I mean? But again, we've seen Welcome to Raccoon City, so. But they promise this time they'll be taking it back to one of the core original RE games. I can't imagine this time they'll lie and completely muck it up, says Jeff. Exactly. Like, can you blame us fans, really, for being this, like, pessimistic about it? I mean, you really can't. I think one of the biggest things to remember is something like how unfaithful Welcome to Raccoon City was. Really struck a nerve with some fans to the point where Andrew Salo, who is the director of The Keeper's Diary, which is the RE fan film that we all were a part of to create and crowdfund and everything. It was a big collaborative effort to get that across the finish line. And we did it. It came out last June, and it's done very well and fans love it. But I think one of the biggest things that inspired him to do that film and to give it what it deserves is leaving Welcome to Raccoon City very unsatisfied and very offended. And I think sometimes that does spark one of those like, okay, well, let's see what we can do as fans. And I'm not trying to toot our own horn, so to speak, but we tried, and I think we were successful with it. It was a short film. It's not a feature film or whatever, but there'll be stuff down the pipeline that I'm sure you guys will be hearing about soon. And maybe there might be something else that could be longer in fashion. And we'll see. I think there's a lot of potential with doing something your own, and when you get a good response, it gives people, the anticipation to see, more. Um, it's just disappointing when you see the current studios again, or the people in charge, just say, "Oh, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that." It's like you really can't believe anything until you fucking see it. Lisa's lore be too much in the movie. Yeah, I mean they kind of made up her lore and with Claire, like, oh, the orphanage and everything. Like they kind of just twisted her whole story. It needs to be more than 2 hours long. Trying to shove all that in 9 minutes is dumb. I mean, yeah, I mean don't make it too bloated either, but just get it a good length and just focus it on just one game, man. You know, they did make Leon an idiot in Welcome to Raccoon City. Gravities, I don't think we'll get any RE news particularly, but I mean, I think if there is a PlayStation event, expect news there, which might be next week. So definitely still going to stream it, still going to watch it. I think the first RE game with bits of Zero could actually fully and solely be told via miniseries HBO. That seems the only way to do its justice. I mean, if the Netflix show wasn't what it was and it was an actual show that was based off of maybe the first 3 games and they told that story, I think I said this back then when that came out, but I wouldn't be opposed to that. There is nothing wrong with them just putting it out there and seeing if that would work. But I know they have the movie rights specifically for films and they have to make them so they don't lose the rights. And then in the process, they also made that, not really even worth mentioning, but the fucking Resident Evil Netflix show was just bad. In my opinion, it's just not good. And I had to sit there and watch the whole thing, and it got canceled 2 weeks later. So that shows you where that went. Lance Reddick, let me say his name right. God rest his soul. He's a great actor. No offense to him. He actually was probably the best actor on that fucking show. But it's not his fault. He didn't make the material. He played a Wesker that, I guess it worked for that universe, but it wasn't the Wesker that we specifically know and love, with not the looks, but the actual character and the character choices. And that show experimented with its own version of Wesker, and that's fine for what they wanted to do in that show for Wesker, but that wasn't Resident Evil. You know what I mean? They wanted to make a whole different Wesker, and this Wesker specifically has a family and everything. It didn't really work. But Lance Reddick did a great job acting with what he was given. So, I can't complain about him, but only the script, which isn't his fault. Yeah, keep praying, man. We'll see. Potentially a series season 1 in RE season 1 is RE and RE0, and then season 2 could be RE2 and 3 together. Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not, but like I said, I wonder if they ever would attempt a show again, because that was a Netflix show. So I don't know if Netflix would ever approach them and be like, hey guys, we know you tried these movies fucking 8 million times, but that wasn't Wesker, that was Blade. Basically, I mean, especially the scene where the real Wesker shows up. I don't know if you guys know, but there's a scene where like the real Wesker shows up, and literally he looks like Blade, because there's clones in the Netflix show. So the one that has the family is technically a clone, and all the clones eat at Olive Garden, and they like breadsticks, and there's a lot of strange things in that show. I can't believe I had to sit there and watch that, man. That was crazy. See, Dennis from Always Sunny could play younger Oswald Spencer. That's funny. I guess he could, right? Reddick was by far the best part. Not his fault. Yeah, he was just given the role, and he's probably just like, all right, I know the name Resident Evil. Let's just do it. He got paid for a job, and he did a good job. I mean, I can't really knock him. It's just the screenwriters were fucking horrible, and yeah, and just never again. Yeah, the Daughters of Wesker, when the series got announced, yeah, it was just not. Yeah, smokes PCP. I mean, it was not focused, man. It was not focused, and like they had a cliffhanger in there, that like if they continue that, man, I don't even know what the fuck season 2 would have been. Like the fact that we like finally got like Dr. Salvador in that kind of this is bad, man. This is bad. It's not good. But all in all, with the movie aside, I think that there's going to be the mix always of people saying, give it a chance, fuck this, I'm not going to go see it or whatever. Obviously, my job is to review and talk about this stuff, so that's what I have to do. Even if they don't get my money, because there's ways to do it without spending a lot of money. And I don't necessarily mean piracy. I know a lot of people are like, stop mentioning piracy on the channel and all this shit. I'm not condoning anything, but I have, reward points for movies, rewards. You ever like see like, oh, you sign up for a month and you get, points and all that stuff. Basically, when I know it's coming out, months in advance, I will literally just save points, and I don't got to spend anything. So it actually helps you. It's almost like using a rewards account at like any shopping place you go to. You eventually you just get a free or a couple free tickets. So that's basically what I'll do for the RE film. I did the same thing for Welcome to Raccoon City. I'll do the same thing now. Let's see. Play the Offspring and Alien Romulus to play the Tyrant. It would be cool to see a Mansion Tyrant accurate as fuck. Carlos, what's up, man? Good to see you in here. Again, one of the longest running members, so thank you for that. And if you guys haven't liked the stream yet, hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new here. Join the RE community, and definitely subscribe and stick around if you like streams like this, if you like gameplay streams, podcasts, reviews, video essays. There's going to be a lot of cool stuff coming. Yeah, Wolfboy, that's what we were saying. They could focus it on each kind of game per season or something, Yeah, I agree. I do like the Nemesis outfit from Apocalypse. He just was a smaller guy. Bandcamp, what's up? One Time at Bandcamp is in the chat. That's an amazing name. What's funny was season 2 was actually going to be more like RE, and one of the people who worked on the show did an interview and explained that season 2 was about Chris joining them against the Tyrant. Wow, I never knew that, but they never got there. So, hopefully we get some good news tomorrow. Yeah, man, I don't think there'll be RE news tomorrow, but I think we'll get, if there is a Sony event this month, I think that might be the time to shine. And if we don't tomorrow or next week, guess what? maybe a Capcom event. You know what I mean? It's not the end of the world. Like, I know a lot of people are chomping at the bit to get more information, but it's not the end of the world if that happens. You know what I mean? Um, all right, so we talked a lot about the news and stuff like that. So I guess I'll talk about what's going on with the channel so far this year. As you've seen, um, people usually read my name wrong. Well, believe me, I know American Pie. Uh, these live action art developers are just whatever, like throwing luggages lazily in the airport. Yeah, sometimes that's their mindset. But so a couple things that you might have noticed with the channel the start of this year. So January's been a pretty productive month for the most part. You know, a lot of personal goals are in effect and channel wise, and trying to just kind of get everything together for this year. And one of the things that I think is important is just trying to, reach as many people as possible. And I put up a little community post on the community tab, if anybody saw it, of, just a lot of growth and stuff that I want to achieve this year and the best ways to go about them. And, essentially, there's always a change in, YouTube and how it works. And like how, and basically the live streams on from this point forward will be unlisted after each stream. Now that doesn't mean you can't watch it. That doesn't mean it's going to be privated. Unlisted basically just means that it's unlisted and you have to click on a playlist to find it. Now the reason why I do this is because I think the live streams definitely fuck with the algorithm, and you might notice other, I'm not big time, but you might notice other big time YouTubers do this, or big time. Like I said, I'm not the other big time because I'm not big time compared to many of these people, not at all. But you notice that when they're done live streaming, they put their stuff away in a playlist, and they do that because it affects the VOD content. Now, what is VOD content? VOD content is video on demand, but basically just videos, news updates, podcasts. That's all VOD content. So I do want to focus a lot on VOD content as well as live streaming, but I don't want one or the other to suffocate the other. So this change of 2025, for example, all of the Resident Evil 4 streams that we did are in a playlist, and like you'll see it like right here. I'm going to post this right here is the playlist, and that is all 2025 streams. So every time a 2025 stream is done, it will be posted in there. Right after this stream is done, for example, it will go right into the 2025 playlist and the Let's Talk or the live discussions and Hangout streams, right? So I have them in a couple different playlists. So I basically have to do that so it doesn't clog the feed up. So if I do like multiple streams in a week, for example, like the Resident Evil 4 original run anniversary, it won't push down a video that's like a video essay that I really want to for it to get out, and for people to see. I don't want it to be kind of suffocated in the algorithm. So that's kind of like the main thing I wanted to bring up is like that's one change that you'll notice on the channel. So if you go back looking for streams and they're not there, They are there. Just go to the playlists, or if you go on my home channel under videos, there's live streams by year, and it's 2025, 2024, 2023, 2022, 2021, 20, all the way back to 2016. And, so it's all the years are there. I just don't have them under that banner anymore. So, as much as we're looking forward to RE9, it's also best to keep expectations low because you might not like the direction, especially when people believe. Yeah, exactly. Carlos says I've been enjoying Dino Crisis on GOG. I'll be streaming that this week, actually. But yeah, I'm happy you're enjoying that, Carlos. So yeah, that's where we're at with that. I have been working on a big RE4 video. I couldn't put it out for the 20th year to the day anniversary, but it will still be worth it because believe me, the script is really long, probably about like 9 pages, maybe 10 pages at this point. And, it's a very long script, but it's a really cool in-depth video on Resident Evil 4 for the 20th anniversary. And I'm trying to focus more on evergreen content. And if you don't know what evergreen content is, that's essentially just content that will live on forever. Videos that you can click on that don't really become irrelevant, like news videos or anything like that, or, different things like that. It's just a video that if you watched it 10 years from now, it would still hold weight. It would still be well produced. It would still sound really good. It would look really good, like stuff like that. So I'm really trying to do that for you guys, and I've been working hard every week on it. Even with some of the recent videos I put out, a collection update will be coming out probably tonight. When I wrap this up, I'm going to put that together tonight or tomorrow. But maybe at this point, I'll probably put it out tomorrow for the sake of, algorithm timing. Sometimes it's not best to put videos out late at night. But usually between like early morning and afternoon is a good time. But that's what they tell me. But I don't know. I know the time zones vary. But yeah, so that's basically where we're at with that. Trying to make more evergreen content. Trying to, think of different things to switch things up as far as like VOD content. The podcast is not going anywhere. There is a lot of plans that I, I definitely am excited for, and I want you guys to embrace the new podcast episodes and stuff like that. They are coming. I know the last few years have been a little light with the podcast. And the podcast, that's where the channel name started from, but it kind of goes beyond. The channel name just isn't the channel isn't just the podcast. It's never been just the podcast. It might have started out that way of just Let's Plays and podcast, but it's obviously expanded into a lot more different realms nowadays, but always kind of stay true. So it's going to be a lot of cool stuff going in, 15 years on this channel this week. So very crazy milestone to do something for 15 years and to still have, some fresh ideas, still trying to come up with some stuff. Sometimes it's hard when you've done a lot, but there's always stuff to be done. There's always new ideas. There's always stuff that hasn't been glossed over with the channel, or if that has been glossed over, that hasn't been like actually focused on. So kind of wanted to start with that this year where I could take the lead on some ideas that I really have for the podcast and other video ideas and just do them without much hesitation or fear that just because, a million other people did it doesn't mean that like I can't do it. Like everyone and their moms have done a video on Resident Evil 4. What's up, Alyssa? But I'm really going to try. Hannah's going back to the roots of the podcast. Good one, Mark. Almost. That is a very good, sum up. But see, if I say that, I got to promise, I got to fulfill on it. And I promise I will. I'm just going to be going to try to produce more podcast episodes, make that more part of the VOD content that you get along with live streams, and continue to schedule out the live streams to where they feel more like events and like special occasions, but still do them frequently. You know, I know some people, um, like they might want one thing over the other, right? So there's still going to be that variety of live streams when it comes to other survival horror games. So I know I'm about a month and a half behind, but I have to start Silent Hill 4 because that has to happen this month no matter what. So it's my first time playing it. The members and the Patreon supporters voted on it. So we have to dive in and check it out. I really love the first three Silent Hill games. 3 was probably one of my favorites. I really love that game. Really grew on me as I was playing it. Really enjoyed it. And again, a lot of this stuff was voted on or wouldn't be possible without you guys. So they're still going to bring an element of other survival horror stuff on the channel for sure. And the Master Series is going to be coming back this month as well with Code Veronica, pistols only. So we're going to do that. And yeah, it's going to be very fun, and just trying to line stuff up a little bit, Yeah, I remember when they kind of mentioned like the RE Underworld kind of crossover thing, but yeah, that never happened. I don't know if that was ever going to really happen or they were just like in talks of it, but again, the crazy shit that happens. Um Sorry, I was just checking my phone. Oh, actually, the RE sales are on Xbox Live. All the Resident Evil games. Let's read some of these prices. $5 for remake, can't beat that. $10 for RE2 remake, can't beat that. $5 for RE6, not bad. $20 for RE4, not bad at all. $5 for RE5 OG. $5 for RE4 OG. Village is only $16. RE3 remake is $10. RE7 is $8. You can get the RE trilogy at $50. You get RE2, RE4, RE3. Code Veronica on 360 is $3.99, and then Gold Edition's $20. Those are fucking awesome prices. They've been that low before, then they shoot back up. But if you're on Xbox and you haven't picked them up yet, definitely pick them up. Yeah, I think they'll do with the third person. If anything, for RE9, and I've been saying this for a while now, is sorry. I don't mean to yawn in the mic. Like they'll probably do it third person over the shoulder, and then there'll probably be a VR first person thing because they like to play nice with the VR Sony stuff. So kind of like RE4 remake where it didn't have a first person mode, but when you play in VR too, you're in first person. You have no choice. You're in the game, right? So I think RE9 will probably do something like that to sell more VR2 units because VR2 did not sell well at all because of the price point, and they have dropped it since, I know. And yeah, but the other thing I wanted to mention, I know a lot of you guys are wondering what's going on with the PC build. And as you can see, the 5 series cards are out, and I am trying to attain a 5 series card, because the other ones got completely discontinued, basically. And if I'm going to spend the same price on like a 4070, like I'm going to just get the new 5 card. Like, why am I going to get one that's old? And that's one of the last bits I need to build this PC. So I know a lot of you guys are like, hey, Ant, we really want to see what's going on with this PC. And don't worry, like, I want to be able to show you and share with you what I've been able to get. And it'll be very good. But I'm trying to get a 5070. That was around the price point that I have in my head, and that's still the goal, still the plan. I don't know how. I know that's went up for pre-order, but everyone but the 5070 went up on Best Buy specifically, and I have points I want to use and stuff that will help a little bit. So I want to make sure that that's all sorted. But yeah, so I promise you, once I get this card, you guys will finally get a live stream build, and Perry will be helping me sell a kidney for the 5090. I know, right, dude? They're so expensive, but I'm good with the 5070. I'm good with that, and I think you guys will be really excited to see the PC build. Again, shout out to Perry for helping me do that, and that will be live streamed right here on LTRE when that is ready. So I will let you know. I'm basically going to try to get one this month, and then we'll take it from there. Once I get card in hand, we will set something up for me to shoot over up there in New York, meet up with Perry, and we can make the PC build happen. Oh yeah, the VR has gotten better, and even with the Quest 2 that I played RE4 on, which you guys and gals voted, or not voted, but donated for, it was very fun. I mean, I actually really enjoyed that even more than the PSVR 1. I get motion sickness a little bit. I gotta like take breaks and shit like that from time to time. That's no fault to the VR. That's just me. And sometimes you shouldn't play them for a certain period of time as they recommend, right? Because it can lead to sickness and stuff. But yeah, that's just me. Some people can just fucking play for hours, and that's fine. But even when I played RE4 OG on the Quest 2, it was very fun to play on live stream, but I had to do it in like 2.5 to 3 hour sessions, But you guys were very cool about it, and you guys actually really enjoyed that stream, and you made it possible. So just kind of like how you're helping this PC be possible. So I know it took a long time. Obviously life happens, shit happens, right? It's like expenses get in the way that are outside of, PC parts, bills, stuff comes up, as stuff happens, accidents happen, like shit happens. So, it's been an interesting couple of years, but I'm finally ready to move on with this build and, just create stuff on a higher level for you guys and for my other channels and really start delivering without any hardware limitations. So I just want to let that be known because I know a lot of people do ask about what's going on with it and, when and everything. But right now with the 5 series cards, I got to get one sometime, like literally sometime this month it has to go up on Best Buy. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see. And here's the thing with Gall, Shadows of Rose was only in third person, right? So it seems like they're obviously going in that kind of direction. But that's just my opinion. You know what I mean? But yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me for a couple hours. It flew by. You guys always make this awesome, and very cool to see all of the familiar faces in here for the live hangout discussion. Always, always, always appreciate you guys. Shout out to Quentin with the 20, Axel with the 4.99, Lucius with the 4.99, Cody with the gifted membership, and Nico for those memberships. And I can't thank you supporters enough. Whether it's just even if it's just liking the video and, no donations, that's fine. Just helping me out, subscribing, checking out the Discord, all the Instagrams, the Twitter, the merch down below, all of that helps me. So I thank you so much for hanging out. And I really hope that all of you, stay tuned for what's to come because there's a lot of cool, exciting stuff on the horizon. And a members and Patreon show will be dropping this week as well. So the Last Survivors exclusive membership podcast and Patreon supporter podcast, YouTube member podcast, all around will be coming back. So stay tuned for that. Love you guys. And I'll see you this week with some Dino Crisis and some more video content. Take care, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.